You want to know what it's really like being a blind woman dealing with monthly flows, that time of the month, number twos, and all the things? Well, I'm going to tell you about it. So let's get into it. Welcome back to Being Black. I will be here, no evil, see no evil, and speak no evil. I know what you came here for, and we're going to get into it. But I'm going to give you those meat, and I'm going to give you the potatoes. But first, let's go ahead and start with the appetizers first. So I'm going to start with 4 common questions I've gotten as a blind woman. And I can only give you my experience. I don't know how other blind people do it or how the other blind people feel about certain things or what their experience is. I don't even know any other blind people. I'm the only one that I know. So I can only give it to you straight. And I'm going to go ahead and get into all that good stuff at the end for those last 2 questions. So stick around if you want to know about those. Okay, so let's get into it. First question is, do I dream? Do I imagine things still? I don't know. Do I? Yes, I do. I can still dream. I still dream in color. I can still see images in my mind. I have vivid dreams. Well, I mean, some are vivid, some are not. Sometimes I even lucid dream. And that started a few years ago on accident. I never wanted to lucid dream. I was never trying to play around with nothing. But that started on accident when before I went blind, I would have dreams about me going blind. And then I would get scared in my dreams. And then I would force myself awake. Because I would realize, wait a minute, this isn't real life. In real life, I can actually see. And then I wake up and everything's okay. I can see again. Now... It's the opposite. I will dream, and if I have a lucid dream and I realize I'm dreaming because I can see in my dream, and this time I'm not scared in the dreams. I'm just like, I want to try to stay in this dream because I want to be able to see for as long as I can remember. If you're hearing any noise or any talk, I'm sorry, but I want to try to stay in that dream for as long as I can. It's quite sad when I'm speaking about it. And it was, I had a few where I wake up in my dream and I'm like, I can see my hands. Like, oh my gosh, this isn't real life. But okay. And then I try to calm down in the dream so I don't wake up immediately, because once I realize I'm dreaming, I will kind of wake up a few seconds later and I'm trying to hold on, and then I open my eyes to nothingness, and it's a little sad, but it's okay. It's okay. It used to get me down, but now it really doesn't. So for me, yes, I can see in my dreams. Will that be the case forever? I don't know. I hope so. I've only been completely blind for about 1.5 years now, so I don't know if that will fade over time. Same for my imagination. Number 2, can I imagine things? Yes, I can still see in my mind. I can imagine things. I can picture things. Like even now, I'm picturing me looking at the camera, even though I'm probably not looking anywhere near my phone. I'm assuming you're in front of me. I'm assuming I'm in frame. I'm hoping I'm in frame. VoiceOver said I was in the frame, that I was center. Hopefully I am. I just don't know exactly what that means. But even if I have memories of talking to someone and I was blind at that time, I go back to those memories in my mind, and I have an image in my mind from that time. Like maybe I would kind of remember if they're happy or not. Then my memory, they have a smile on their face. If they told me what they were wearing or if they were smelling, in my memory, I would just have those images associated. If they were telling me, or if I know they were cutting in the kitchen, I would imagine them cutting in the kitchen and what they're wearing and stuff. That's my experience. I don't know how it is for others. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is, how do you write? How do you use computers? How do you write those posts or whatever? VoiceOver. I live in the time where VoiceOver is a thing, where screen readers are a thing. They haven't always been a thing. Technology is great for me. These are things I never thought about. Just know screen reader helps me read and helps me write out what I want to write. Now, I'm not that great at screen readers just yet. I have learned quite a bit on my iPad, navigating that, same as my iPhone. And I, use that to say what I want to say. Dictation, oh gosh, dictation sometimes sucks, and Siri sometimes sucks. Oh my gosh, I don't know if it's just me, but screen readers and Siri, they're both a little bit illiterate. Say they say a word, and I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? It'd be something completely off track, and I gotta try to play the guessing game, or I learned how to do the characters. I can just scroll through the characters and then figure out what it's trying to say. For Buy Me a Coffee, my Buy Me a Coffee link, when I go to that website, it say Boofalimaki. I'm like, what's a Boofalimaki? I don't know what that means. Boofalimaki? I have no idea, but it's trying to say Buy Me a Coffee, which By the way, I do have a buy me a coffee if you want to go ahead and support my channel and help me grow and help me be able to put out more things and eventually be able to edit and all the things. Go ahead, my link is down below in the description. Shameless plug. Anyways, let's get into number 4. Can you drive? Can blind people drive? I cannot drive. I am completely blind. I am not seeing anything out of these eyes except for a little bit of like these eyes ain't seeing nothing. Unless you want me out here hurting somebody, I'm not getting behind that wheel anytime soon. And I would think that blind people, or after a certain, visual loss that you witness, I really don't know. I would assume not. I would assume that is a no, but there are some blind people who can blind out of one eye and they can see out the other and they're driving. And I don't really know how that works. I didn't really go do a deep dive on that, but for me, I do not drive. Okay, completely blind over here. I'm not getting behind the wheel, and it's a little sad because I do miss driving. I used to do gig work. I used to work for Instacart, and sometimes those Sunday mornings when the streets are free and you're just kind of driving and cruising, listening to music, and then I miss those things. Just being able to go when you want to. I'm not relying on it. I miss those times so much, but it's okay. I'm okay. So that was the 4th top question that I received. Let's go ahead and 5. How do you know what that is? How do you know what you're using, like in the kitchen, like if it was a spice or something? This is a bonus question, like a spice or something, or even just feel something. I know what common things feel like. Even this mug, I know what it feels like. I know what a cup feels like. Spices, I can smell them, and I know what cinnamon smells like. I know what nutmeg smells like. I know what chili powder smells like. So they're like, how do you know if you put the right? They all got their distinct smells. Some can be a little bit more tricky because some smells are a little bit milder. Some are a little bit more loud. Some can smell similar, but they have a distinct smell that you can sometimes, especially if you train your nose to it, it can really help. So that's how I'm able to tell things apart. My hands are my eyes and my feet. Like if I'm walking around places and stuff, like I don't like walking outside because I have to wear shoes and it's a little bit, I don't know how other blind people do it. Maybe because they're used to it, but I don't like walking around in my shoes. I feel a little clunky trying to figure out where I'm at. My feet, you ever watch, okay, I don't know who you are, but you ever watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, Toph? And she feels the earth and the vibrations with her feet. Similar to that, I'm not skilled like Toph, but Toph was always my favorite. Her and Aang, but Toph was really just up there. Okay, she was another level. But anyways, like feel things like that in hands. That's how I see. That's like, I'm like, let me see it so I can hold it and feel it and try to figure out what that is, since I can't use my eyes anymore to tell me what it is. So those are how I'm able to tell what things are. That's how I'm able to dream and all those things. So now let's get into what you really came here for. We're gonna start with the monthly flow. Yes, the monthly flow, which I should be starting soon. My monthly flow comes usually towards the beginning or the end of the month. Lately, it's been more towards the beginning. Sometimes, if you ever notice, like it kind of shifts. So it's in the beginning, then the middle, and then it ends up in the end, and then it comes back around. I don't have a flow like I hear some of them have, where it's every certain day, like the 29th of every month. I didn't even know that was a thing. Okay, it's like, dang, your body really works like clockwork on that. I don't have that. Mine's, it'd be similar. Maybe sometimes it misses it by 2 weeks, like a week or two, few days, around that range. But I do get my period every month. That's just something you should know. And I do have, now that I'm older, like I didn't get cramps and stuff growing up like that. I didn't understand that with other women, and until maybe, I hit my 30s and I started having some back pain and all of those things and the cramps. And I'm like, what is this? Now I don't get it every time. And mostly that back pain comes around ovulation time and not really my flow time. So if I know my ovulation time, then usually maybe they say around 2 weeks till your flow time. So I can kind of estimate off that if I'm having really bad back pain, or you sometimes have that poo cramp, like that cramp that feels like you need a poo and you really don't, and it's tricking you. I sometimes can tell off of that my period is about to start. So I know my body. Before before I was blind, I know my cycle, or not my cycle, my period lasts about 5 days, and it probably trickle into 6 days a little bit. You know, that little bit of leftover that's trying to come out, it'll probably trickle over to 6 days. So it'll be anywhere from 3 to 6 days. So sometimes in these last few years or whatever, from before I lost my sight, it was like 3 days sometimes. So 3 to 5 days usually. And so if I know my period is gonna come soon, and if I'm having symptoms or if I'm not having the symptoms, I usually know that it should be happening, and I would put toilet paper in my underwear for that initial, the initial little bit. So, because I don't know if I started yet, and I don't start off with a heavy flow. You know, usually you start off slow, like a little lightness, and you don't typically feel that like that. So I start off with a little bit in there, so I can know I can catch what's about to come out, because I don't know exactly which day it's going to start. Then once I know that it's coming out, you can kind of feel it, or you let out a cough or a sneeze, and you let out a little surprise. Yeah, now I know I started. You can feel it. I can feel it come out. Sometimes, okay, it can get a little messy. There was like a 1 or 2 times where I didn't know I started, and I probably woke up and it was hot and I was probably sweating, and then I felt like all wet. I'm like, why am I so wet? And I'm like, is that sweater? You know, it's a little gross. You know, very much TMI over here, but I mean, this is just the way it is right now for me. And you know, I have to clean up, and you know, go ahead and make sure. Also around that time, I like to make sure I have my period panties. You know what I'm talking about, period panties for that. And so I'm prepared that you know it goes in there. I probably have a few more period panties than I would like, but it is what it is. I do not use tampons. I learned about Ever since I learned about periods and pads and tampons in 5th grade, they told us about the toxic shock syndrome. Toxic shock syndrome. I've never used a tampon in my life. That traumatized me. I will never use a tampon. I only use pads, and then I will double up. So I wear pads, and then I'll wear some toilet paper over the pad, because I want the plastic bottom of the pad, and then the toilet paper helps absorb it and not just go through and stain my panties. So I double up. That's just what I do. So to keep me the driest I can be, and not be bleeding everywhere on people's furniture and on my bed and all that stuff, and in my clothes. That's how I handle my period. Thank you for listening. Number 2. How do you go number 2? How do you know when to stop wiping? I know. If I was you, I want to know the same questions. Matter of fact, I did want to know the same questions, and now I know. Again, this is how I do things, not how everybody do it. So let's get into it. Like I said, I knew my body. I know my body even before I was blind. So I know what it feels like when to stop wiping. A lot of times, the way my poo is, it's still so weird talking about poo, but the way it's set up with my body is normally, especially like if I'm typically getting all that fiber and the vegetables and fruits in and stuff, my poo comes out pretty smooth. It don't really leave no residue. And I know what that feels like from years of doing it before, knowing that, you wipe it, nothing there, and you're like, cool. Yes. But then there are those times where it's a little rougher. And that usually happens when I know I have not been eating the best, or I've been, eating more of something that will clog you up and kind of, make it a little bit of a rough time for you. And then there's a little bit of a mess there that you gotta clean up. I like to use wipes. I don't have a specific brand. I hear there are dude wipes that I kind of want to try out, but wipes and toilet paper. I use the wipe to clean, wipe, and then I use toilet paper to clean. So I feel like it's good enough. Not like good enough, but I feel like it's clean. Nothing's coming out. Okay. Or nothing's still there. I can tell the difference. And when in doubt, you hop in that shower and you clean yourself. You wipe yourself down. You get it down. Okay, so don't judge me, okay? You get that towel, you get that rain, you hop in that shower and you clean your body. And it's better, clean yourself. It's some of y'all, or some people that I'm not gonna say some of y'all, because I know y'all clean yourself, but some people, grown adults, do not know how to wipe themselves. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know they didn't know how to bathe themselves. I didn't know they didn't know how to wipe themselves until, I don't know, I was watching YouTube one day and a person who does the waxing, they talked about it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was a thing. Now I guess some people don't care, some people do care and didn't know. I mean, you know, things that, but I didn't know it was so common. Um, yeah, so I just try to make sure it's clean because I don't want to be running around with a duty booty. I'm sorry, but I don't. That's how I handle myself. Also, I guess the bonus question is how do I bathe? Because that was another question. I forgot I wanted to answer that in the first part, but I'm gonna answer it right now. How do I bathe myself? I get in the tub. I don't get in the shower because it's too dangerous for me. I also wear hearing aids, so that water is not great, and I don't want to be without hearing aids and can't see. That's just a very uncomfortable combination for me. So I like to get in the tub and just let my body soak and just absorb that that water, do exfoliating and stuff. But there are times, a lot of times lately, really, I do have to take a shower, and luckily for me, there's a glass door that I can hold on to. Now, I don't try to be in there for too long. I do what needs to be done. I need to exfoliate me, but sometimes I just want to get out there that I don't even take the time to get my little African scrub and scrub myself to do the exfoliating because I do have strawberry skin legs and to help keep that maintained. But so it's not as maintained as it was, but it's still okay. The shower still does, you know, something. So, oh, also for the period, you can also smell it, okay? Period blood has a distinct smell. It's not a strong odor. It's not something like, oh my gosh, and it's overpowering. It's not a strong odor, but there is a distinct period smell, just so you know. So I can also probably smell my period blood. Sounds gross, but I'm sure you smell yours too, okay? I was able to smell it before I went blind. Like, you know, they say, oh, you got super like smelling. No, it's just that since I can't see my nose, I'm more focused on what I smell and stuff, so I can smell it. And that is how I clean myself and deal with my period. Probably a little too much. Ooh, ooh. Okay. On that note, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thanks again for listening to another video of Being Blackout, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. Leave a comment down below if you have any other questions that you might want me to ask. Go ahead and drop it in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Help support me a lot. Thanks. I love. Bye. Forgot to say it. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Adios. Adios. Adios.